So, hello everyone. My name is Vanessa Oko, and I am a program officer at Integrity Organization. Welcome to this podcast. It's a bi-weekly podcast, and today is an amazing day to have a great conversation. Welcome, welcome. So this podcast, like I said, is brought to us by the Integrity Organization, and we have these podcasts and conversations bi-weekly, and they're a part of our integrity generation work. And perhaps you're wondering what or who is the Integrity Generation? It's a community of people and young professionals, young or old, who aspire to be successful through the right channels, despite the paradox we live in Nigeria, where there is a pattern of corruption. And at the same time, these people are choosing to daily do the right thing and just do things right. Yeah, so to know more about us, follow us on our social media pages and channels. We're on LinkedIn as Integrity Organization Limited. We're on Instagram. We are also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe, click the notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we post any content. We are also on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Integrity NGR, Integrity Organization. Yeah, so if you have any questions, any contributions, we're going to be having a question and answer session at the end of the whole conversation. So it's going to be a great hour to talk and reflect on a lot. Right, so our conversation today is from an article authored by our CEO at Integrity Organization, and it is titled The Personal Sector, the Tiny Favors Quietly Killing Our Future. So I'll go quickly to our panelists for introductions. So I'm going to call upon Madam Mojisola, Mr. Dami Lola, and Mr. Apampa to introduce themselves, your name, your role, the sector you work in. Just let the audience know, what you're about. Yes, I'll start with Mojisola.
Thank you very
Briefly
much,
introduce.
the integrity sector. My name is Gokena Mojisola. I'm an HR for AC Property Network. I'm a real estate consultant as well. I consult for a real estate company, and I also sell real estate properties. Thank you very much.
Right, you're welcome, Mojisola. We are happy to have you. Mr. Damilola?
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
My name is Damilola Amusa Daudu. I'm a medical laboratory scientist by training. I graduated with distinction and also the best graduate student in my department. And I'm also an entrepreneur. I co-founded a diagnostic center with two of my colleagues. We have two outlets here in Lagos, and what we do is try to bring diagnostic services to the doorstep of people. So we do home service and generally some other things. At the moment, I'm currently a fellow of the Latif Jacon Leadership Academy, an initiative by the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, where they train young individuals for 1 year on leadership. And it's a pleasure to be here. Mr. Soji Papa is one of our teachers. It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Right. Welcome, Mr. Damilola. It's a pleasure to have you. And our CEO, my CEO, Mr. Apampa. You're welcome to introduce yourself, sir. Right.
Thank you. My name is Soji Apampa, and I'm one of the founders of the Integrity Organization. Thank you. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Apampa. Right. All right. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, our panelists. Welcome again, everyone, to our audience that is joining the Zoom conversation, the podcast today. It's going to be an amazing conversation. So today we are going to be addressing patterns and cultures that people enable without looking at the consequences of their actions in the long term. Our topic today is the personal sector. I'm just going to repeat that so that we know, we can remember the topic, the personal sector. The tiny favors quietly killing our future. So I'm going to be reading some excerpts from the article that Mr. Apampa wrote, and then we're going to be answering questions and having a really good conversation today. So one of the things that the article says is, have you ever arrived early, followed the process, waited your turn, sometimes possibly in a long queue, then watch someone walk in later, greet one person, mention one name, and get served immediately. There was no argument, there was no confrontation, just my person winning, my personal person. This experience is quite familiar to many Nigerians across sectors. So I'm going to be asking all our panelists. I want to start with Mr. Apampa. What real life situation did this remind you of in your line of work? How did you respond, and what course of action can one take when they're faced with the same scenario?
Simply, anyone who's gone to the passport office, you meet a whole crowd of people. There, you get there, you're scratching your head, you're thinking, wow, will it ever be my turn today? Yes. And then some nice fancy cars roll up after you sat there for 3 hours, 4 hours, fancy cars stroll up, and then some women and children come out of the fancy car, they're ushered in, and before you blink an eyelid, they've gone in, done their business, it's over, they're getting back in their cars, and they're leaving. And you feel, and it's very painful, but nobody tends to say anything or do anything about it. And I hope we get to address that in this podcast. Why we do nothing and say nothing. But for me, wholesale, what would I like to do about it? I would like for there to be proper standard operating procedures. How is it supposed to happen? And I want a place I can go and complain when it's not happening accordingly. And I want to have the confidence that if I complain, somebody will do something. Otherwise, why should I be in that situation? Because I need a service.
Right. I love that. I mean, everyone has experienced the passport office. Right. Mojisola, I want you to quickly jump in on this one.
So thank you very
much. Yes.
When I glimpsed on the topic, trust me, it is a wonderful topic. It's a wonderful situation we need to speak about, to talk about. As an HR, I deal with so many talents. So obviously, I get so many job applicants. I get so many people who come in to my office with the idea of, oh, I'm from Mr. Soji. That's the first thing they say when they are dropping off their CV or they are trying to introduce themselves. Hello, madam. I'm from Mr. This, the owner of the company, the this of the company. So it's, it is a lot for we have lesser power to control it. I mean, if you are from the boss, what can I say? Oh, sit down. I have to give you all the old listening years that you need, or you expect me to, give you preferential treatments, just sign off and agree to hire you immediately. So yes, like what Mr. Soji said, if we can have a body that we can introduce, we can, speak about, or a suggestion box that we can, even though it's anonymous, we can anonymously say, oh, somebody did this to me, somebody did that to me, and drop off. And if the matters will be well presented and well addressed, I believe that would make well for us. Thank you.
Yes, I believe those are practical, things that we can do. Mr. Damilola, what real life situation have you encountered?
I wouldn't want to go back to passport office because I faced that. But I would say one particular thing. I remember when I finished my course of study, it is mandatory for you to do a 1-year internship. And I finished as the best graduate student in my department. And I thought, okay, based on merits, okay, we wrote an exam. We did really well in that. They will choose the next set of interns based on merit. I mean, this is a teaching hospital. And upon getting there, I realized they told us, who do you know? It's until you know someone. So I saw people coming all the way from various schools because they knew the CMD and they were getting in. Some did not even write exams. I mean, it was so bad that some people did not write exams at all and they got into the system, started doing their internship. I had to wait many months before I could start my internship. And it was until we had to start writing letters over and over again that they answered. But it was a painful experience for me, and I began to wonder that how can we improve this system? So that was a real life situation, and it was a painful one actually.
Right, yes. And Mr. Pampa has already told us that if there are SOPs in place, we can avoid some of these, situations and scenarios. Right. So, the article actually just, talks about the personal sector and introduces it as a space where decisions are really driven.
Please allow me to interrupt you, because it's not just about having them written. Have we demanded them to be written? We actually have a responsibility as service users to demand that they reduce it to standard operating procedures, so that when we're not getting the service, then we can say, but your step 4 says that I will not have to wait more than 2 hours. And this person, he did not follow the procedure. Now I want, and you have also written here that the repercussion is if any officer doesn't follow it, this is what will happen. Now do it.
Yes, holding them accountable. I want to be in that
position. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So the personal sector. So this is a space where decisions are not driven by rules or merits, but by personal ties. So as Mr. Pampa is even saying, yes, you want to hold them accountable and tell them, okay, these are your SOPs. What are you going to do about it? But most people just think, no, my person, who can I speak to? Who owes me a favor, or who owes who a favor? So I want us to answer this question. So what feels like kindness, right, at the level of one favor, it becomes destructive at the level of a whole society, or at the expense of the people that are involved in that situation. So I'm just going to go to Mojisola. Why does the personal sector feel, reasonable to so many people? How did we get here? And I mean, how can we move past it? I mean, we've established that SOPs are important, but what else can we do? And why is this reasonable?
In my survey, I got to understand that the Western world is the US, the UK, mostly the Asian world they are still far more worse than us. According to my survey on tiny favors, on personal interests, oh, I know you, it is, trust me, it is far worse. So, and I mean, we look up to them a lot. We look up to, everything that they do, their systems, their processes. Right. Now, back to we Africans and Nigerians. This has really, really eaten deep into our system, and it has caused nothing but chaos. The other speaker who spoke about waiting for months. I mean, if you were to leave a report down, for that organizations, for that, the internship program, I'm sure you have something otherwise to say. And accountability is a lot when it comes to companies. I feel if we can work towards an accountability system where or a body to talk about this constantly on social media, meetings, I feel we might. I won't say we might stop, because I mean, personal favor, we still go around, 10 years to come, 20 years to come. But I mean, we could reduce it to a point and not, leaving people at the expense of it, making people feel bad because they could not get, this preferential treatment.
Yes, Mr. Damilola, why do you think people make this reasonable? Is it culture? Why do people think it's okay to have my person somewhere for them to just bypass any process? What's the reason behind that thinking? Mr. Damilola, are you there?
Yeah, okay, you called. So what's the reason? For me, I think it's something we grew up always saying, something we grew up saying even from childhood, right. And it has become normalized. Like it's when something you grew up saying has become normalized, there's no way it would seem as At times we even call it bro code. At times we call it loyalty. At times we even measure the things we do by our intentions and forget the impact it is making in the long run. For example, even it starts with even from secondary school, or we go for this, say, help me keep seats in class. I'm just using that as an example. In that, and that people are there coming to stand, and you say because of my brother, and we see it as normal. Okay, that when it's my turn, I would also do it. Or even an example, when we even some of us are about to get admission into the university, and the parents will be like, "Oh, you didn't meet the cutoff mark," and they'll tell you, "Oh, I know one uncle that can help you. That is, you did really well. It's just 1 mark or 2 marks. You don't have to wait 1 year because you don't meet it. Let's just meet it. You enter VCs, or something." So it's something that we even till now, I still consciously have to remind myself that this is wrong, because even when you say it outside, the culture will be like, the people around you will be like, no, it's normal. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. So it's because I am over 20. Things we see for over 20 years happen over and over again. Our parents tell us this is the way to do it. Okay, is your boy, is your bro. You shouldn't do it that way. You shouldn't.
Yes.
So we are now numb.
Yes.
But like we are numb to what is wrong in that sense.
Yes.
Like, oh, well, we are not the only
so
ones.
how do we get past that norm? How do we get past it? Because you can easily pass down a culture that is wrong. So how do you get past that?
So for me, how do we get past it? I think it starts with each individual recognizing your values, what you stand for. Because if you might just have, okay, my intent, no, what values do you stand for? Are you willing to pay the price even for it? Because really, if you want to stand with integrity, it is costly kind of in that sense, in the short term, in that sense. So individuals also, we need to, develop strong institutions. We've heard stories about someone stealing this or doing that, and there's no repercussion in that sense. So we need to have an institution which is repercussion for wrongdoing in that sense, no matter how little it may be. No matter how little it may be.
Management.
Yes. So we have to look at that. Also, I realized one thing I've realized in this part of the world, we are quite emotional. And I don't think we can build a sustainable society with just emotions flying about, because we are quite emotional about the right thing. Maybe let's say we want to do, or the government wants to do something right. Deep down, it is right, but our emotions will be like, no, but these people are doing this or they are doing that. So we are quite emotional. So we have to find a way to walk around that emotions and not just use that emotions that are looking at things. What is right? Follow what is right. Follow the due process in that sense. So that's what I want to do.
Yes. So, Mr. Pampa, I love what Damilola said. It's so true. So, Mr. Pampa, there are people that think that if I don't do this, if I don't help my own people, who will? They're thinking it's just one process, and I know this person, their family, their friends, or maybe it's a colleague. They tell themselves, anyway, this is how things are done. People do worse things. It's just a small thing. So these statements, they can sound so harmless, but, they quietly train us to accept something. At what point does helping cross into harming the system?
The helping harms. And let me explain it to you.
Okay.
Because you say, it's my person. Let's dissect that.
Yes.
You are a woman, and you say, I'm helping my fellow woman.
Right.
You immediately alienate the men. Or you are an older person. Let me help the bros. You immediately alienate the young people.
Yes.
Or you are from Kogi and saying it's Sigbira. You enter some government departments, and just by looking and listening to what language people are using to communicate, you can tell where the DG is from. That the DG is Sigbira, or the DG is Igbo, or the DG is Yoruba, or whatever, because you then find a preponderance of people from there, that if I don't help my own people, who will help them? But what this does, immediately, it makes people disbelieve anything like good governance.
Yes.
Or that due process can work for them.
Right.
Because you are reinforcing the fact that if you did not have someone there, you have no chance of advancing. You have no chance of getting better, because because you don't have a person there. And that is what is breaking down Nigerian society. That's why some people even carry arms and say, no, it must be a Hausa that is equal of it, or it must be an Igbo person that is the president, otherwise we break up. Why?
Right.
Because you have given them sufficient reason to see that those who are there use it only to take care of themselves and their own. And these personal favors continue to breed mistrust in society.
Right. So how can a young professional safeguard themselves? Because if you go into, for example, an organization and you find that, people have these groupings, self-help groupings, self-help, they help themselves. How does a young professional safeguard themselves? Because these situations are very real in the workplace.
To encourage and make sure that you understand if there are any written processes and procedures and operating procedures, go and know them.
Yeah.
So when you see people acting outside of them, you need to be able to say, but this is contrary, and if this is how we want to work, please, can we change our operating procedures so they reflect this? At least everybody then, when that it's going to be on merit, or it's going to be on another metric. So the first thing, because then you start to draw attention to it.
Right.
And people will then tell you it's because it's not your own person, Abi. Don't worry, your time will come. It will soon be your turn. And then you need to make it clear to them, it cannot be based on turns. Otherwise, we're going to have this negative outcome after a while. Yeah.
Yes.
But over to you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. So Mojisola, as a HR practitioner, how does this personal sector change how professionals approach work, what efforts do you see them giving in the workplace? Do they remain ambitious or do they give up? How does this affect young professionals? I mean, from a HR perspective, what do you see?
So this perspective has really changed the focus of talents. And then it makes it more obvious that it is not just more about merits. It is not about your GPA. For example, the whole system started from our school days where comparison is being held between graduates who finished well and, graduates who had low GPA or probably, dropped out of school. They bring so many comparisons in social media saying, with this person GPA, you're still riding Okada. With this person GPA, with how you were top at your class, you're still this. So, the whole circle, started from, it has gone way back during the school days, and that psychology has stick to this young talent. That it is not about this GPA. It is not about the merit. It's not about what you know. But the wonderful part of this idea or of this circle is that there are still some sectors that you still cannot, you cannot use personal tiny favors, or I know not this person. There's still so many sectors that we have in Nigeria today that it is strictly by merit and nothing by merit. There's no two way about it. But for the open sectors that people come into, we have talents who are looking for jobs and they know somebody. It has really reduced the workforce. It has made many of them, to not be focused. It has made many of them to prefer knowing somebody,
Yes, I love what you're saying about there are some sectors that you cannot jump the system. It has to be by merit. And this is where I want Damilola to come in, because the medical field, I mean, you cannot use connections to go and kill somebody in the surgery stable. Do you understand? Yeah. So in terms of talent and morale, in these sectors like the medical field, where you cannot really, your competence that matters. What happens if, for example, you are competent, but somebody bypassed the system because they have a connection in the medical board or in the pharmaceutical board? What happens to
Yeah.
talent and morale in that regard?
I think first thing that happens is the brain drain. People will
Okay.
japa. People would leave the country to places where their values, their worth is being really, really valued. So because
Yes.
such a system as we have in this part of the world makes people invest more in relationships than even competence. And
Yes.
this affects things even in the long run. We find
Yes.
a lot of people that invest much more in lobbying than being excellent at what they do. So first and first, the best minds would leave in such an environment. And when the best
Yes.
minds also leave, there will be a lot of mediocrity around. There will be a lot of eye service happening all around. You just find people doing a whole lot of eye service all around. In the medical space, you would see it happen over and over again. For example, I would give an example. I remember there was a period where there was a particular CMD that was meant to be elected, and they chose the
Right.
CMD based on who knew the president. I mean, the president of the nation, and not based on just competence. So lobbying is happening all around. So the best minds will leave, mediocrity will come into being. People begin to think
Yes.
just in the short
Yeah.
term and not in
Yeah.
the long term. In that sense, people will just say, "Oh, how can I gain the system now?" Because for some people, they've invested so much, even money, in gaining those relationships. They will want to gain it back
Yes.
in that sense.
Yes.
So people will think in short term, how can I gain back from the system in that sense? Well, one thing first, and it's at one. The first thing first is the best minds will leave. Because we believe, I know there are nations,
Yes.
other nations in the world, in which the what's it called? It's not as if their pay is as great as some other countries, but the healthcare professionals, many of them still stay back because they know they are what's it called, of the type of system that is present there. But in the system which we have here
Yes.
in Nigeria, it is the best minds would always live in this type of system. Best minds would
Right.
always
I
live.
mean,
Left
that's
with
that's the
mediocres,
option.
kind of more of mediocres.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
that's the option that they get pushed to pick. Mr. Apampa, I want us to address the generational gap. Gen Zs, millennials, and all of that. So I'm a millennial. So what happens is our education system taught us that it's by merit. So we struggled to get the grades. We struggled to be competent. We went for internships. We tried to do everything by the rule book, which is not really how sometimes the workplace is. So what will you say to the younger generation who is, they are joining the workforce, but they are finding this, system, this personal sector that they don't understand how it works. They are trying to employ their competence and they're finding a roadblock. What are you going to say to them? And it's not an assumption that the personal sector is with the older generation. I just want, that generational gap to be addressed. Mr. Pampa.
Let's go by what all our panelists have said.
Yes.
Which is that personal space,
yes,
and the way it works, you start to learn it already from when you were in secondary school. I think that's the first thing. So
Right.
even all of these millennials and so on will come up and see it as normal because that is the way they've been brought up.
They were cultured
so
into it.
They have been acclimatized into this way of behaving. So the person who is now saying that there could be a different way is the one that is bringing news to them because they haven't heard it before. And then they're wondering, okay, so Mr. Smart Pants, how do I survive? How do I get ahead? By doing the right thing. Thing is, there is another, in the Chinese system where they had the revolution, they also had something they called a counter-revolution.
Yes.
That if the current revolution is everybody behaving badly, you need a counter-revolution where everybody's behaving properly.
Right. Yes.
Now, which means that if they're all linking up based on who you know to do the ill, you better team up with those who want to do the right thing and gain support for doing the right thing. So in your organization, find out who knows the process and who cares, so that you can go knock on their door. Sir, ma, this is what is happening to me. I've tried to do it the right way. This is what I keep getting. And they, being higher up within the organization, will tell you exactly how to maneuver it in that organization. You cannot be on your own, because they are a network. They are tight together.
A tight network, yes.
They are a tight network. You also should join the counter tight network within your organization. So if you open your eyes well, you will see people who are doing the right thing. In every organization, they're there. And also the seniors who insist on the right things being done. Try to befriend them. And they will speak up for you where it matters.
Yes.
And that's where we join this counterculture of the integrity generation. Let's recognize that we're not in a generation that loves integrity. So when we recognize those who are members, let us hitch ourselves to them and join hands with them. I hope that helps.
Absolutely, it helps. Thank you so much, Mr. Pampa. Mojisola, would you like to jump in on this one? I feel as a HR practitioner, you have seen it all in terms of the generational gaps and, how it affects the personal sector.
So currently, to the younger generation, integrity is costly. Currently, they see integrity as it is expensive to manage, and then want to boycott. So I feel that we need to start from our secondary schools. We need to spread out so many informations. We need to speak about this and let them know the importance of doing the right thing, not just the Nigerian way. We need to create a system, where integrity is being awarded. And I think we then start from ourselves, start from me, start from you, start from everybody all currently on this call. Then extending also to the university, creating programs, as many as awareness as we can create, and thereby reaching out to organizations where we can hold conferences. But yes, let us start from our secondary school. Let us be the person to say, okay, you can do this, and and you'll be rewarded for doing the right thing, not just in appraisal, because the young talent these days, they appraise me, welcome, but my pocket is still empty. I mean, let us teach them, that doing the right thing at the right time, doing things with integrity can also make you, a better person in life, not just appraisals or certificates, but even financially. People who can trust you with their money by just knowing that, you are accountable. They can hold you accountable for so many things. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mojisola. Mr. Pampa, I have to call you back on this one. It's a follow-up to what Mojisola has just said. So I come from a generation where what she has said, that they think integrity is costly. And, they're wondering, why should I have integrity? What will it do for me? So this is coming from a conversation I had with a young politician, and he was saying that integrity did nothing for his father because the father's colleagues went into government, full funds and finances, and right now they're living their retirement large, but his father is in the village, so they're wondering, what is this going to do for me? What's the incentive rather? Why should I stay integrous? Why should I not cut corners? Because the ones who cut corners, they got ahead. So how do we address that? I feel you're the best to answer that question.
Is it that they got away with it, or they seem to have gotten away with it?
They seem to have gotten away with it.
So imagine two pyramids. One is going to be built base first, so bottom up in the pyramid, the wide base, and it's being built that way. And a second pyramid where we build it from the cone first, towards the base. Good. Now, let's say society is impressed with how rapidly water rises within that structure. Pour in a bucket of water into the one that was built with integrity, and it disappears into the foundation. You don't see it. Pour one bucket of water into the one built apex first. It's spectacular, spectacular rise. Yes, but the truth is, the longer you go, the more you fill in, the more unstable the one built the wrong way will become. And the more stable the one that is built on integrity will become. Now, as time goes on, you will now see that those that appear to have gone on very quickly ahead of you start to slow down. Because remember, they are now going towards their base. Every extra they add in, it seems like it's just disappearing. That spectacular rise is not there anymore. Instead, they're dealing with all sorts of risks. But you that built the right way up, you are now moving towards your apex. Every little more that you add, now it is spectacular.
It keeps rising, yes.
Damilola kept saying it, Mojisola kept saying it, short term. Yes, in the short term, it looks very spectacular what you've done, but you've done yourself a great disservice for the long term. Now, there's some people who then have, when they retire, you see them, they can hardly breathe. There are some ex-heads of states who have a lot of money, but they cannot enjoy it. They're in sickness. They're wheelchair bound. Is that what you want?
Absolutely.
There are so many people who are like that. And there are some who retire to the village. They're healed, they're healthy, they get their 3 square meals. They're not driving fancy cars all over the place. And you think, it does not have 4 billion, but it also doesn't have a problem that requires 10 billion.
Yes, he can
think
live with
about
himself.
It. Yes. That he may have 2 million and his problems are 200,000 size.
Yes.
That's the person who God has blessed. I'm telling you. So at the end, each citizen is going to choose their path. But those who have been there before are saying, think about it, choose right.
Yes,
because if you do the right things and do things right, you can end up in the right place.
Absolutely. That's spot on. Thank you so much, Mr. Pampa. I'm going to go to Damilola. So looking back, and I feel like Mojisola should also answer this one. Looking back, is there any situation you would have handled differently and why? Looking back in your career.
Yes. Yes, I do. And I'll give a case study. When I finished my internship, I served in a research center. And that's when I realized the rots in the academic system. And I realized professors stealing money from grants. I witnessed that firsthand. But there was one that even we were expecting about $1 million in grants. And they were telling me, once the grant comes in, we're going to buy cars first for themselves. The smaller ones are coming, the tens of thousands of dollars will come in and they will tell, okay, we'll just do this. And they'll really fake. That was the first time I witnessed empty invoices that they collect from people and they feed it themselves in that sense.
Wow.
What would I have done differently? Back then, I thought maybe I wanted to keep peace. These people are my guys, they taught me and all of that. Let me just be loyal in that sense. I looking back, I think I could have responded differently. I could have written to the bodies that gave us that grant. I was not in the know of the grants.
You would have reported it.
I came into it, but I saw things that were happening, and it was absurd. I mean, how they take percentages, how they would. I remember at some point they'll tell us to give reports on the progress of the results, and they'll just formulate some things. And I'm like, professors, some deans of faculties, and I'm like, wow, this is happening in the system. So looking back, I think I could have responded to that differently, because I wanted to say I should have rather written to those
Yes.
bodies and inform them about what is going on. Yes, there might be repercussions that seem to have might come with it, but that's just it. And I believe the more the more I do all of those things, I'll be able to find even like-minded people. Because I know there are like-minded
Yes.
even professors that are not even in that doing such things. Not everyone is corrupt. And there's something someone said yesterday that really stuck with me, and I'd just like to read it. I wrote it that respect the process even when it slows you down. So at times it might
Right.
seem as if when you do all of these things, it might seem to slow you down in the immediate. And that's about respect the process. Hold on to your what's it called values. And one last thing
Yes.
I think I would have done differently, because that person I was in the fireside church yesterday, and the person also mentioned something now that we need to build systems that are stronger and much more durable than any strong personality. Because the person I was dealing with that period, I thought the
Yes.
person was a strong personality, a dean of a faculty, could make or
Yeah.
mind that sense. Because I believe I could have responded to that differently. Document things, ask questions, ask him
Yes.
questions, because I didn't even ask him questions. I just felt,
Wow.
okay,
Yeah.
in my mind. So in that sense, I could have responded to that differently. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your honesty, Damilola. Thank you. Mojisola, would you like
Okay, so
to address this one?
this is a true life story. Yeah, my
Okay.
father was a renowned cinematographer, and
Right.
very he did so much works than than the pay he got. I mean, he worked everywhere, and I kept on asking questions. I mean, look at your mates. For example, you know, Mr. Dele Momodu. Look at your mates. So many. I kept on mentioning names, and like why? Why? According to what Mr. Apampa said, like even though you eat all the old money, as long as you have rest of mind in your village, and
Right.
truthfully, he said something. He said he could have done so many things to cut corners. I mean, lied about trips to UK,
Mm-hmm.
gotten more, lied about so many things, but he just used to have rest of mind. And I judged that man before he died, right in my heart, like. I
Oh.
mean, we have just how many? Most of our properties are in Ogun State. What you could have become a landlord in Lagos State, and continuously I judged that man. But now I know better in my
Right.
line of work, things that I've seen, I can boldly.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Jetor office, Jetor, the new car at Victoria,
Right.
at Oniru. Sorry, I had to shop for one or two staffs, and
Yes.
fortunately, the owner, the MD of that car lot knows my father.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes. She just asked, what's your name, Gokeno? I know Gokeno from Ife. I know this man. Man, he was a good man. I can say good things about him. Like, I mean, if no,
Mm,
that's enough for me to say, oh, this man did well. He worked well, and and even though he did not get more financially, but I mean, I could I
yes.
could get access with his name. And people would welcome me and say, oh, your father did not cut corners while working with me. So that's one scenario, that personal scenario that has really shaped me and helped me to do things right, even though I won't get much profit from it. Secondly, as an HR,
Yes.
anybody
Mm-hmm.
who's coming in, any talent who is coming in, even though you're coming from this, you're coming from that, I know how I wish I could have, still not giving you all the preferential treatment because I know you're coming from the CEO, you're coming from still,
Yes.
be able to attend to everybody equally. And
Yes.
may God help us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mojisola. I'm going to tie something that Damilola said and ask Mr. Apampa his final question. Damilola said, looking back, perhaps he would have reported the matter to the grantee or the grantors, the grant partners. In a country where whistleblowing is something else, do you believe the personal sector can ever shrink in Nigeria? Because if you want to follow the right process or the right procedure or report an incident that has breached the SOPs, what does that mean for someone that, whistle blows? do you think this can ever work in Nigeria? And what do you think needs to change first?
Okay. So let's
Yes.
go back to the advice I gave earlier.
Yes, about the
Imagine that Damilola then looked out in his organization to identify those people who loved to do things the right way.
Yes.
And he actually built a relationship with them. Do you think he would think of reporting to the grantor first, or he will report to one of those that,
to one
sir,
of those?
have you seen what is going on? And he knows, he trusts them.
Yes.
Will that not give him a safe space in which to escalate what is going on?
Yes,
It
a
will.
very soft landing, yes.
It will. We need to create our own counter networks. And that is what the integrity generation is supposed to be about. It's a counter network to the ongoing network. Because honestly, if you carry your head above the parapet, they'll smack it to you. That's what will happen to you as a whistleblower. But if you have access to people and you know that you can pick up your phone and call a big person in society, sir, ma'am, did you see this? That is, I'm quite concerned. You can get counseling and you can also get strategies for them on what to do, how to do it, even if they will help you blow the whistle, because they cannot be touched the same way that you can be touched. That's the way we need to support each other in this kind of environment. So you didn't ask me, but there was an international company that I represented that was cheated in a public procurement, and they dared us to go to court, and we went to court. But they made sure that nobody would touch our company with anything. We did not have any business for like 3 years. Not a single business. We didn't even know they had put out information. Nobody in the system must touch us. Yes. Now, it would have been much better, much easier if we had engaged in collective action. There were many other people who were also disgruntled, who also believed that due process was not followed. If we had worked together rather than walked alone, we would have gotten much further and made much difference in trying to change the system than trying to put a broad chest out. They'll smack it down for you. So in this environment, it's really important to have that kind of generation you can belong to. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love that. Have a counter network. That's everything, actually. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all our panelists. I have enjoyed this conversation. I wish we didn't have to, leave in a few minutes. But I want to open it up to the audience. For those that are joining us, do we have any comments? Do we have any questions? This is the time to raise them. I'm going to give you a few minutes. I haven't seen any question in the chat room, so I'm going to assume maybe you want to speak. Do we have any questions from the audience? Okay, I can't see anyone raising their hand, but I would like our panelists to give a parting shot. Yes, I can hear someone speaking.
Yes, it is I. Yes, it's I. My name is Emmanuel, and good afternoon to every one of you. I just wanted to say a very big, thank you to the panelists and the conversations they have had. And I think it's quite important that we ground this conversation in the reality of what people go through every day, and that we keep the solutions practical. And I think that's what I have heard from the different sectors, which face different challenges because they operate in a different contexts. So I think it's wonderful that as people listen to this, they really take away some salient advice on how do you get around it, particularly around how do you really leverage collective action. How do you make sure that when you see something, you say something, but you also say to the right person? And also, how do you now govern how you also present so that you're not seen as a conduit available to be used to do the things that you do not, on principle, agree with? So I think it's such great conversation, and I hope it really inspires the generation of youth and other people who want to make a change and listen to this podcast. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. For those that don't know, Mr. Emmanuel is the program director at Integrity Organization and CBI. Yes, thank you so much for that contribution, sir. I can see Love. Love's hand is raised. Do you have a question or a comment?
A
It's your
comment.
time.
Good afternoon. That
Good
was a
afternoon.
very interesting section. In fact, integrity is achievable. It's not as costly as the Gen Zs or other people can see it. From what Mr. Hamper and the panelists have also said, we can
Right.
achieve it. And when we achieve it, it guides us in the right way. So we should speak up and act in a way that shows we have integrity. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Love, for that contribution. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to our audience. I'll just go back to our panelists to give a parting shot, any advice that you have for young professionals, on how they can live and work with integrity without normalizing shortcuts. Yes, this is the moment. I'll start with Mojisola and then Damilola and finalize with Mr. Apapa. Your parting
Thank
shot.
you very much. Given the short story I said earlier, I didn't know how important integrity was until, meeting people who knew my dad and had wonderful things to say. And I mean, there's so many politicians who their children can't hold a functioning social media account. Like,
right.
I mean, they just would not dare. So, and I feel we should look at integrity beyond ourselves, beyond our, beyond what we want to leave down, the legacy we want to leave down, or, to our children, how we want our children to see us. So I think we need to start changing the mindset of our youths. Okay, this is not just about you anymore. I mean, we are still this Gen Z today, but you would, what legacy do you want to leave down for your children, and explain all these TSCs in details. And yes, I think that's just what I want to leave down. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mojisola. Damilola.
Yes, I would just like to see this. First of all, just like Mr. Soji said, how that the counter, building your own counter system,
counter network.
Counter network. So I'd like saying it this way: that find your own tribe, build your own ecosystem, surround yourself with people of like
Absolutely.
But find your own tribe, because they are the ones that will even keep you accountable. They are the ones that will keep you also grounded. Also, I would just like to say that how that integrity is built in the small decisions, not even just in the big ones yet, in the small decisions, because every time we refuse to take a shortcut or choose fairness over favor, we are really investing in the future. Because you're investing in the future of our children, you're investing in the future of our grandchildren. We shouldn't trade our name for convenience, because our reputation is our strongest currency. So we need to protect it at all costs. You may lose truly in the short term, you may lose benefits, but you gain credibility. Mr. Papa said it. You gain peace of mind, actually. Those that are really stealing, truly, I said they know deep down, because you lose peace. You lose peace of mind and even have access to long-term opportunities. So guard your, reputation, zealously, because it is what really matters in that sense in the long run. Protect it at all costs. Thank you very
much. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Damilola, for your parting shots. Mr. Apampa.
Yeah, I would like to ask people that they should be questioning of every assumption that they have been presented with as they were growing up. And always ask, is it really true? They tell you everybody's doing it. You should ask yourself, is it really true? Does everybody have to do it? Is there really no other way? And if everybody's doing it, where will this land us? We need to be inquisitive and questioning. Otherwise, we will be herded like sheep to follow into all the destructive practices that we met. and we say Gen Z. We're different. We want to do our own thing, our own way, but then you are already acting like sheep, following blindly. So it's time to question the things that are being handed down to us. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Pampa. Thank you so much to all our panelists. I mean, I have learned a lot. I'm sure the audience, the people joining this podcast have also learned a lot. And we are definitely taking a few things with us. For me, one thing that has really stayed with me is cutting corners does not necessarily mean you will arrive first. It literally means you will just arrive with less character, less patience, less confidence to own your process. So, when we get to these shortcuts, we slowly erode our discipline to see things through. So I want to have something that I can pass on to the next generation, and you can't pass down what you don't have. So that's what is going to stay with me for a very long time. Yeah, so thank you so much to everybody that has joined us. I appreciate you. Thank you to our panelists, Mojisola, Damilola, and Mr. Apampa. We have this conversation bi-weekly. So stay tuned on our social media pages and you're going to see the next advert about the podcast. Thank you so much.